Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. Very warm welcome to lesson 2 in this video series. Now, today what I thought I would convey to you is the fastest, simplest method you can use to go from zero, absolute zero, having no experience, no knowledge, to generating 10K in sales with online courses. Now, to my knowledge, there isn't an easier way to make your first 10K in any other business model this quickly, this simply, as the methods I'm going to show you today. So just to put this in context, I've actually used these exact methods in the past 30 days in my business to generate tens of thousands. So I want to show you a screenshot of a post I put in my E-commerce Freedom Warriors Facebook group recently. I'm going to show you the screenshot here. You can see it says something like, I'm looking for 5 hungry entrepreneurs who are looking to build an Amazon business in the next 30 days. As you can see, it's got loads of engagement, loads of comments, loads of likes, a couple of shares. And this simple post has generated me tens of thousands. So how on earth did I create a post like this in a group, turn the engagement into money, and how can you use similar techniques that I've used with that post if you don't have a following, you don't have an audience, you're starting from scratch, and you don't even have a Facebook group? Well, I'm going to break down exactly how to do it so you can make your first 10K in sales. And the way we do this, which is really exciting, is through you borrowing my authority. So as I've explained in a couple other videos and podcasts, authority is the thing that's going to get you sales, right? That's the thing that makes people pay attention to you, and it's going to make you sales. Authority is the reason why you'd listen to some teachers in school, they'd have authority, and other ones you didn't listen to and you messed around, you never did their homework. So I have authority in the e-commerce space. You get to borrow mine, and that's how you're going to make sales. So let's break down very quickly how you're going to get your first 10K in sales, what mechanics required to make that happen. And I think you'll agree this stuff is pretty simple, really, really exciting. Okay, so when we're thinking about any goal, first thing we want to do is break it down so we can reverse engineer it and actually have a chance of hitting that goal. So how are you going to hit 10K? Now, how long it's going to take depends on a few things. It depends on how much energy you put in. It depends on how closely you follow these simple methods. And it depends on your mindset and how determined you are. So how long it's going to take, it could be a month, it could be a couple of months, I don't know what it is. But regardless of the length of time, let's look at what exactly needs to happen for you to hit 10K. So, 10K broken down into smaller amounts is roughly 15 sales of my $697 FBA Secrets program. So when we're thinking about how to make $10,000, really you shouldn't be thinking about the money so much. You should be thinking, what do I need to do in order to get 15 people to raise their hand and say, yes, I want to get started selling on Amazon, and I want to use the thing that you have in order to get there. If you can get 15 people to do that, then you will make 15 sales of 697, and that'll be over $10,000 in sales. Now, if you look at the profit you would make from this 10 grand, then as I've mentioned, the commissions are unbelievably high with this affiliate program. So quite often, you would take home something like 30%. Like in an Amazon business, you'd probably take home 20, 25% of 10K in sales. But with this program, you'll actually take 6K home in profit. So really, this is 3 times as profitable as launching an Amazon business, right? Just to give you an idea of how quickly you can actually get money in your pocket when you get moving with this opportunity. So how do we get this then? How do we get 15 people to raise their hand? Well, when we think about marketing and we think about building an audience and generating sales, quite often people go down a rabbit hole. They're thinking, okay, I've got to build a funnel. Okay, I've got to do loads of SEO. Maybe I should start a blog. Maybe I should run a podcast. Maybe I should build a webinar. Maybe I should build an email list. Maybe I need landing pages, sales pages. Maybe I need to get good at copywriting. Maybe I need to go and do some joint ventures with other people and use their audiences to actually build credibility and get attention. Well, I'm going to tell you that all of that stuff, while it does work, each strategy in isolation executed properly does work, they're all very high skill cap strategies. Like in order to get a webinar to convert with paid traffic or really any traffic at all, it requires you to be very good at a lot of things. You need to be very good at advertising. You need to be very good at selling on a webinar. You need to be very good at email marketing. You need to have a very good checkout page, and all that stuff is very complicated. So while every single one of those strategies works, I'm going to tell you something so much easier that you can actually set up right now in preparation for this, that requires a very low skill cap that anybody can do, that doesn't require all that usual marketing stuff. You probably already guessed what it is, but let me tell you. All you're going to do is you're going to set up a Facebook group. You're going to set up a Facebook group. Now, how on earth is setting up a Facebook group going to make you sales, going to make you money, going to build you an audience, and why are we focusing there? Well, let's think for a second about the usual process that people do when they're trying to sell something, right? Usually you'll build a funnel. Usually you'll try and build an email list or a webinar or something like that. What do most people associate with all of that stuff, with webinars, with being on someone's email list, with having a phone call with someone? They associate being sold to, right? If you sign up for somebody's email list, then you're just waiting for the pitch, aren't you really? You know that at some point they're going to try and sell you something. If you sign up for a webinar, then you know at some point they're going to try and sell you something. So you have to be able to do that stuff masterfully and provide a lot of value with your webinars and with the emails you send out if you have to make those strategies work. That's why they're quite difficult. People have resistance to signing up to someone's email list. People have resistance to signing up for webinars because it's that environment where you know there's going to be a pitch. However, a Facebook group is just so unassuming. It's more of a community. And people already get what Facebook groups are all about, right? People know that Facebook groups are communities where people go to give value. They know they can network, they know they can make friends, and it can be really helpful being part of a great Facebook group. People are joining them all the time voluntarily. And Facebook want people to join groups right now. In fact, Facebook are throwing loads and loads of traffic to Facebook groups. Like if you have a group that's getting lots of engagement, Facebook will show it to everyone and it will get people in there without you even doing anything. So this is something you can build without needing any of that complicated online marketing stuff, any of those skills, and you can begin to build an audience of really dedicated people who want to be part of the community. So this is where we're going to start. Building this group. So once you've set up the group, once you've got a few people in there, how do you really fill the group and what next steps do you need to take? So as you can probably already see, my e-commerce Freedom Warriors Facebook group now has over 7,000 members. But when I started the group, it didn't have anywhere near that amount. In fact, when I started the group, I can still remember to this day when I only had 23 people in there. So if you're thinking that you need a group with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, you can get there one day, but you can start very, very, very small. And the great thing about small groups is they can actually have more activity per person in the group, and Facebook can really accelerate the growth faster. Like when you get big groups, a lot of the time, like 90% of the people in the group aren't active, and Facebook see that most people in there aren't doing anything and they don't share the group much. So you kind of have an advantage when you have a smaller group. So I started my group with very, very, very few people, just like you will be starting yours. So how do you get your first initial members in the group? Well, it's really very simple. Right now, in your extended network, there will be a selection of people who are interested in building an Amazon business. Right? These might be your friends, these might be your friends of friends, these might be your colleagues, these might be the people associated with the people you're close with. Now, the chances are that most of the people in your extended network are friends with you on Facebook right now. Like, you probably have maybe 400 or 500 friends on your Facebook page, on your friends page. Most of them you probably don't know closely, but you've met them, you've bumped into them at some point, and you decided to add them on Facebook. That group of people are your extended network. Now, because they already know you, they already trust you to some degree, and they probably like you enough to add you on Facebook, it will be very, very easy to actually get the people out of that network who are interested in selling on Amazon to join your group. So to get your first 100 members should be really easy. In fact, you can just invite your friends to join the group. The ones who want to join will join. The ones who aren't interested in joining will ignore it, and it's just a Facebook notification. It's not really anything too intrusive. And then that will probably get you your first 100 members. Now, as soon as you have people in the group, the thing you want to do initially is get them active, right? So just get them active, get them doing something. So you want to ask some questions, right? You want to get them talking, encourage them to comment on a post, encourage them to introduce themselves, encourage them to talk about why they're interested in Amazon. Now, why do we want to do this? Well, when Facebook sees that there's loads of activity happening in a group, let's say there's maybe 5-10 posts a day, comments, likes, shares, all that stuff, Facebook actually starts sharing the group to other people who might be interested. So let's say you're in my group, the E-commerce Freedom Warriors group, you might start to see your group on the side of my group. So people who are interested in my group might see your group on the side, and they'll click and then they'll join your group. Or they might be in another group which is about business or something. Amazon will recommend your group to them. So essentially what this is organic traffic, right? In other words, free traffic that Facebook is providing for you. It's showing your group out to people who would probably be interested. So what will happen is your group will start to grow organically, right? You'll start to get more and more and more and more people in there. Now, to keep the engagement up, you should always be posting some kind of content in the group. Now, luckily for you, you don't necessarily have to produce this content yourself. In fact, you could post some of my content, maybe a YouTube video or a blog post or a podcast, something like that, and share it in your group. People will start to engage, right? And they will like it, they'll comment it, they'll share on it. And this will in turn get Facebook to give you more organic reach and get more people to sign up to the group. That will get more people in your group, more people seeing the content, more people asking questions, and the Facebook group will grow even faster. Once you've grown the group, you've engaged with them, you've provided them with some value, you've got to know them a little bit with the questions, all of a sudden, you'll have yourself a community. Now, just by having a bunch of people who are interested in the same thing in one place, without really doing too much else, you've already provided value to this group of people. You've already shown that you've given something cool to them by just connecting them to one another, because that in itself is very valuable. So then, once you've created this effect, you can begin to occasionally make offers in that group. You can occasionally ask people in the group if they would be interested in taking things to the next level, much like I did with that post that I showed you at the beginning of the video, right? So I'm going to give you several posts that you can put in your group that don't come across as salesy. Right? Have you noticed I wasn't selling anything in that post? It was purely just a question. It doesn't irritate people. In fact, much the opposite. I got tons of comments, tons of likes, tons of shares. It's a good post that people engage with and they appreciate. And it doesn't mean you have to be great at sales or building any funnels or anything else, because all you're doing is posting a simple post in a Facebook group. Then, once people respond to these offers, you can give them my marketing materials, my webinars, my courses via private message. Then you're only selling in private. You don't sell in the group and pollute it with loads of, links to course sales pages and stuff like that. The group is purely for community. All the sales are done via private message, and you're not really selling. You're just sending people to webinars and resources that I've put together. So sooner or later, you'll have, let's say you have 100 people in the Facebook group. Let's say out of that 100 people, you make 2 sales, right? So that's a 2% conversion rate from the people who join the group. Sooner or later, you will know how many people you need to get into the Facebook group in order to make a sale, right? In this case, in order to make 1 sale, we need 50 people in the group. So then it just becomes a numbers game. All you have to do is figure out how many people you need to get into the Facebook group to hit your 10K. And the funny thing is, you might make 2 sales from the first 100 people, but as the group grows and as people get more warmed up to you, that number might get better. You might actually make 3 sales per 100 people, or 4 sales, or 5 sales per 100 people. Because things start to accelerate. The more people engage in a Facebook group, the more they warm up to you, the more other people in the group warm up to you. So in the beginning, everyone won't really know who you are. So you have 100 people in there, maybe 10 of them will be really into it. But then as you grow, as you put out more content, more people in the group will start to listen to what you're saying, pay attention. This number will get better, right? So let's say, for argument's sake, you got this number up to 5, right? So 5 people out of every 100 bought a program. That means you know now that you need to get 300 people in your Facebook group to get to 15 sales, to get your first 10K. Right? So that's pretty much as simple as it's going to be to get your first few sales. And anyone I know can open up a Facebook group. Anyone I know can share posts in there. They can ask questions to get people to engage, and they can occasionally post a couple of offers and start sending people to my webinars through your affiliate link to generate some sales. And anyone I know can do simple maths to figure out how many people you need in your group in order to hit your goal. Now, the numbers might change. You might need 300 people to get a sale in the beginning. You might need 50 people. I mean, who knows? Everyone's group's going to be slightly different. Depends on a number of factors. The point isn't the number. The point is knowing what you need in order to hit the goal. So this is how things are going to get started. And then what happens once you've got your $10,000 in sales, once you've got that 6K in profit? What can you do next? Well, now you've got opportunities. Now you can start building something real with that money. You can start putting money into Facebook advertising to grow this group even more. You can start putting money into other channels to start sending people directly to webinars and do more complicated stuff and ramp the business up to 6 figures. There's a lot of really exciting stuff you can do when you've got a little bit of capital and you've got some resources. And you know what? I'm going to discuss all of that stuff that you can focus on in video number 3. So stick around, hang out for that 3rd video to appear, and I'll catch you there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak soon.